So today, 5.6, we're talking about the Fundamental Theorem of Algebra. The Fundamental Theorem of Algebra finds all rational, irrational, and imaginary solutions of a polynomial. Okay, so if our highest exponent's a 4, we have to come up with 4 solutions. If our highest exponent is a 5, we need 5 solutions. All right? They might be rational, they might be irrational, and they might be imaginary. Okay, I'm going to go through the steps to begin with. All right? Step number 1. Find all possible roots. Step number 2. You need to find I need to figure out how to say it. N minus 2 solutions from possibles. Step 3, use synthetic division. With each root until reach a quadratic. Step 4, solve the quadratic. Step 5, list all roots. Okay, so now let me explain what each of these steps mean. Okay, so we're going to just take it back for a second here. And let's go with say I have, here's example number 1, and we're going to go through all of this together. Example number 1, find all zeros or roots. They mean exactly the same thing. So whether the question says find all zeros or whether the question says find all roots, it means the same thing. All right, so here is our polynomial. Let's say I have y equals x to the 4th plus 3x to the 3rd plus x squared minus 12x minus 20. Okay? So very first step is we find all possible zeros. So possible zeros are all the factors of the last number over all the factors of the first number. So all factors of 20 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. And we're going to divide them all by, what's the factors of 1? 1. All right. So technically our possible zeros are plus and minus 1, plus and minus 2, plus and minus 4, plus and minus 5, plus and minus 10, and plus and minus 20. This right here is step 1. Step 2, we need to look at our highest exponent, which is a 4. That 4 is our n. Okay? Remember I said n minus 2 is the number of zeros I have to find from my list. So since this is a 4, I have to find 2 actual zeros from my list here. Okay? Now we can do it by plugging all those numbers in, or you can go ahead and graph it to find them. All right? So I want you guys to go ahead, grab your graphing calculator, type in this polynomial, and find me 2 zeros from our list. Okay? Good. -2 and 2. Perfect. Okay? So we found 2 zeros from our list. Now we're going to do synthetic division. My coefficients are 1, 3, 1, -12, and -20. Okay? I'm going to start with my first zero I found, -2. I'm going to put that to the outside. Bring down my 1. -2 times 1 is -2. I add them together. 3 plus -2 is 1. Multiply. -2 times 1 is -2. Because that's one of our zeros that we found. Yes, we are. Okay, hold on. All right. All right. So 1 plus -2 is -1. -2 times -1 is +2. -12 plus 2 is -10. -2 times -10 is +20. And you have no remainder. I'm going to put an X there. You shouldn't have a remainder because they were zeros. So now we're going to continue exactly where we left off with the next one. So now I'm going to do +2 out here and continue my synthetic division. So I'm going to bring down my 1. 2 times 1 is 2. I add them together, I get 3. 2 times 3 is 6. I add them together, I get 5. 2 times 5 is 10, and again, there's no remainder. So now I'm all the way down to a quadratic, right? That's what we said in our steps. We get down to a quadratic. This is 1x squared plus 3x plus 5. Now we have to solve the quadratic, which means we're going to do the quadratic formula. All right? So we have -b. No, it's going to come out to be the same. Relax, it's okay. It's the very end part that you've been doing for years that you guys are going to find is the toughest. I'm sorry. So here we go, -b. So -3 plus and minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So underneath here I have 9 minus 20, which is -11. So the only thing that can come out of there is an I. So I have -3 plus and minus I root 11 all over 2. So that's 2 solutions there, right? There's a positive and a negative. And then we also had plus and minus 2. This is all 4 solutions to that polynomial. Okay. Go ahead. Question, Corbin. Yes. The I was because underneath the square root, we had a -11. So you had to take an I out. Right. This comes out to be -11. So the square root of -11 is I root 11. Okay? Yes. Okay, So the n is your exponent, your largest exponent. So if your exponent's a 5, we have to find 3 real zeros. Okay? Okay? If our largest exponent is at 8, 8 minus 2 means we have to find 6 of them. All right? Any other questions? This really is not that bad. It really isn't. Okay. Uh-huh. Especially if it's a big problem. All right. Here's example number 2. Example number 2, again, find all zeros. Oh, goodness. All right, let's go. I love you guys, really. X to the third plus x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. All right, so first of all, we got to find all possibles, right? All the factors of 4 over all the factors of 1. So all the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4, right? All over 1. So we have plus and minus 1, plus and minus 2, and plus and minus 4. Now out of that, my highest exponent is a 3. Yep, 3 minus 2 means I've got to find 1 out of those 6. That's an actual 0. Please graph. Or you can plug all 6 in, but I think you'd rather graph. You're going to tell me what x equals. Negative 1. All right, so now that we've found the number of zeros we need, what's the next thing we do? Synthetic division. All right, my coefficients are 1, 1, 4, and 4. The 0 I found was a negative 1. First I bring down my 1. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. Add them together, I get 0. Negative 1 times 0 is 0. Add them together, I get 4. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Add them together, I get no remainder. Now I have x squared plus 0x's plus 4 equals 0. Now I solve the quadratic. This quadratic doesn't have a b term. So how can I solve it? Square root method, absolutely. So first thing I'm going to do is subtract 4 to the other side. So I have x squared equals negative 4. And then I square root both sides. I get x equals plus and minus what? 2i. Very good. 2i. And what was my third solution I had here? Negative 1. Why do I have to have 3 solutions? The highest exponent is 3. Exactly. Okay? You mean when you graphed it? Well, what about the plus 4x? Alrighty. All right, so here's what I want to do. Let's just, because I feel so kind-hearted, let's just do 8 through 14. So I'm asking you to do 4 problems. 4, that's it. 4 problems. But that means, hey guys, listen up. That means the next time I see you, everybody better have attempted all 4. 4, that's all I'm asking for.